That's right. These are Anton's military bases that are throughout Yara. But before we get into that, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Did you notice the Easter egg that you literally just drove by? That's the question.
There was a big old saber-toothed tiger. Is that what we're talking about?
Close.
Is it
Ooh.
You're
Far Cry
close.
Primal reference?
There's a pretty big primal reference
A bunch of
from our
soldados have
friend
taken over
Irk.
something that looks like a caveman
You'll
field.
From our
find.
friend
Oh,
Irk?
really?
Wait,
Yeah.
was it visible in the footage?
That's all I'm saying. That's all
Oh,
I'm saying.
because I'm about to rewind
And
this
as
one
a
back.
writer, as one of the writers of Irk, I feel like I had to say something. So now it's out there. I don't know if I ruined it for people now, but
I know people in chat spotted it. I know
Well,
people are going to run this back.
Did they? Yeah.
Well,
It's
folks, if you
staring
want to
right at
find
you, Chris.
if you want to find this place, it's going to be in the far southeast area of El Este. Now, this is a big region here in Yara. Naveed, there's different regions tend to have kind of different personalities, different kind of predominating
Absolutely.
traits. Talk to us a little bit about where we're at in El Este.
Well, in El Este, you really have the kind of mountainous jungle region. So it's a lot of elevation, a lot of the grappling hooks, and sniping from mountain heights. And also, it is where, in sort of the ecosystem of Anton's Yara, this is where they produce what we call the poison, which is the chemical they spray on the tobacco leaves that produces the cancer treatment Viviro. So there's tons of gameplay opportunities as well as narrative opportunities here with that poison that hopefully we see you engage in. But yeah,
We shall
it's highly
see.
combustible. It's highly combustible.
Highly
So,
combustible.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of one of the most crucial areas in the game, and it's also where they ship the Vivira out. So it's one of the major ports is there, and it's all run by Admiral Benitez and Mr. McKay, who I don't think you're gonna see just yet, but they have a very dynamic relationship. There's a lot of they would not be good on Teams calls and Zoom
Oh my
calls.
goodness.
A lot of cutting each other off.
Cutting each other off. I like it. Now I'm going to like contextualize this a little bit. Like these are coworkers, right? If you're the leader of, you're the admiral of the navy,
They're
you're
supposed
in
to
Castillo's
be.
cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah, McKay is like an import-exporter. If you've ever met someone who says they're an import-exporter, immediately they are doing something illegal. So he's that
Hey, I will
person.
have you know, my great uncle is an importer exporter. And does he always wear sunglasses even indoors? Maybe. But we don't ask questions. We don't ask questions.
Yusuf is learning things about his family. We're learning things about Far Cry 6. It's just a learning experience all around this morning. Now, I'm interrupting a lesson here. People are trying to learn how to fly a helicopter, and I'm really trying to do it a little stealthy here. Obviously, I didn't quite nail that last machete thing, but like doing a quick study. Got to get the helicopter here. Speaking of Easter eggs, there's a little get to the chopper Easter egg in that scenario. If you folks take a closer look at that whiteboard, we'll clip it out. Clip out these Easter eggs. I want to see some clips from this stream a little bit later
a
on.
lot of Easter eggs in this game. I can promise you that.
Well, you got so much space to work with, and it's just
Did you
like
take the alarm out? I don't know if you did.
yeah, the alarms I think are taken out,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna obviously like deftly make my through the scenario by sliding off a cliff and landing on my butt.
So for folks wondering in chat, we're watching Chris's gameplay right now. This is not live. This is pre-recorded gameplay footage. But we are playing on Xbox Series X. Or Chris was rather, and this is the only Xbox Series X footage you're gonna find today of Far Cry 6.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
exclusive.
We wanted to give you all something special today, so we're glad you've tuned in. Now, this is the point where I realize the design of the Valle Prehistorico is such that these cavemen are freaking me out. I'm like, oh my god, there's like 15 guys up there. Oh no, it's just this one around here. But like, it was one of those moments of like, yeah, surprise. Like, oh god, I'm in a situation. I hear a helicopter's
It
up.
fakes you out.
It does.
It fakes you out. I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Ubisoft Toronto was lead, but we worked really closely with Ubisoft Montreal, and they handled a lot of, or the majority of LSD region, and you could sort of feel the nods and the references to the older Far Cries, and they did a fantastic job.
Now,
What are you gonna do this chopper? What are you
what
gonna do
we're
this
seeing
chopper?
here, this is our first
Oh.
glimpse in this stream of a resolver weapon. The resolver weapons, of course, are the improvised, really heavy-hitting weapons that the rebels put together. That one in particular is like a sniper meets a sticky explosive launcher, and I mean, it's
Well, that's
just
the
so
beauty
good.
with the team that put those together. Did such a great job of allowing you to see the individual pieces that are scrounged together from everyday life, thrown together to make a weapon. My favorite is and it's a few people's favorite, I think, is the El Pequeño, which is essentially a motorcycle engine strapped to a turbo that turns into a Gatling gun.
Oh
Look
my
at this.
god.
That thing
Beautiful.
revs up, and it's like, it gets pretty hard to control, but man, does it mow them
Does.
down. It is
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
We will see a couple more resolver weapons throughout the course of this stream, folks, so stay tuned. We're wrapping up the FND base here. But I also noticed, Far Cry is a series that...
Oh man.
Is that the Medico backpack?
Yeah, so this is the Supremo backpack. This is the, I forget what it's called, but basically you can see the health bar is now yellow. I've got a whole extra pool of health, and it allows me to do machete takedowns on anybody. This one is particularly nasty, because you go for the knees first? Like...
That's just so unnecessary. It's like, let me put you in excruciating pain before I end your life.
There's a special irony that you just used the Medico backpack and then brutally attacked several soldiers right after.
This, you don't win a revolution by breaking a few eggs, I believe is how the saying goes.
Yeah, it's fair.
Right.
It's fair.
So now we're going to jump a little bit to another section of gameplay, and this is where we're going to meet one of the revolutionary groups you get entangled with here in Far Cry 6, La Morale. Naveed, can you give us the breakdown on who La Morale is?
Yeah, one of the interesting things we tried to do in LSD is have this sort of clash of two different groups, two different revolutionary groups. So one is the Legends of 67, these are sort of the old revolutionaries in the mountains, and then you have La Morale, which is a group of university students that have banded together to fight back, and they are very, very militant, and have some of my favorite characters in the game. And it's one of the things too that, like, you look at these revolutions often as one big group, but in Far Cry 6 we wanted to show that it's actually a lot of different groups fighting for control. So
yeah, and this guy Calixto is about to give us a little bit of an anecdote about La Morale's operating methods. So the story he's in the middle of here is that the Admiral executed half this town for protesting.
Yeah.
Track them down.
Yeah, and the thing with La Morale is that, they're led by Yelena, who is, they're all university students, and her second in command, Alderon, who hopefully we get to meet soon as well. But their methods are, let's just say, much more brutal than the Legends, and even Libertad. They don't care about Clara Garcia or Libertad or even you. They have their own agenda.
They absolutely do, yeah. Honron especially is an absolute firecracker.
Yeah.
I got to meet her a little bit when I was playing earlier, but I wanted to show off this mission because this is like, you are basically trying to make good with La Morale after a little supply disagreement, and you're going in to rescue some captives, and of course the rescue is happening out on this boat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, y'all know how we're getting down to this boat.
Yeah. Can you guess how you're going to get to the boat? That's the question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
If I've learned anything about Chris Waters from streaming with him for 2 years now, it's that this man loves a wingsuit.
Oh,
Give me the
I'm with you,
wingsuit.
Chris.
Give
There's
me
two
the
things in
wingsuit.
Far Cry 6 that I need immediately: is the wingsuit and a horse.
And look
That's
at this
it.
landing! Look at this landing!
That's it.
This is like my proudest moment in this whole gameplay clip
That
right
is
there.
well done.
That was very well done.
Well done.
Also, we got some folks in the
Ooh.
chat pointing out that there was a Canadian flag flying over this vessel, Naveed.
I thought I saw that.
I wonder why. Mr. McKay is in fact Canadian. Yeah, he's a Canadian import-exporter, and he may or may not talk about certain Timbits.
Oh
deep
man,
cut.
we
The
get a
deep cut.
10 bits reference.
Yeah.
So this is another look at that Supremo backpack. Now these are these things you wear on your back that you charge up and can unleash devastating kind of ability or something to really help support. And this one is the speedy, extra health, machete takedowns, which you just saw on display.
Also, you swapped it, but the El Susuro, the nail gun, which is just perfect for stealth. You know, there's a period, I think, in the project where everyone is just using El Susuro. There's like a 2-week period where it's like, what are you using El Susuro? And I was thinking about it before. It's like, during the development of these things, you because different weapons are coming online at different points, you kind of find your weapon and then you stick with it. It becomes sort of like Old Faithful.
Oh yeah, and
You got some people trapped down there.
yeah, this is the most unnecessary rappel down there, but I didn't really know what I was getting into. You gotta be safe here.
Yelena, I'm on the ship.
Safety
You know, Chris,
first.
some people
Far
play Far Cry incredibly stealthy. You know, no one sees them coming. No one, they don't make a sound. You just get rid of all the enemies on the entire boat without making a peep. Not you, not Chris Waters. And you know what? I appreciate that about you.
You know, there's a lot of ways to play. That's what we appreciate here.
My number one method is to attempt stealth for a solid 15 minutes, get bored, and then go fully loud with my Fuego backpack and just torch everything in sight.
The Fuego backpack. We're gonna actually see that in a little bit. A lot of flames. A lot of flames, folks.
A lot
Get
of
excited.
flames. Not the safest backpack. Safety is a big theme of this live stream, I think. It's not exactly safe.
Oh yes. Whenever you're overthrowing a dictatorship, you always got to be safe. That's the rule number one.
Chris, do you feel like we're judging your gameplay right now, your play style, or you feel
That's
like
live streaming, baby. I mean, even though this is
Ooh, that was nice.
that was perfect. Look at this.
See, you know, the kid's got some chops. But no, you know, folks, if you watch Ubisoft News Plays, you know that we're all about having fun with the game. Like, sometimes we got the plays, other times, hey, it's a little rough and ready, but we stay positive, we have a good old time, and...
That's the Persian side of me. I gotta make sure you're both okay, like everything's fine. Did you need a snack?
I like the lightning in this storm was, like, very timed at there were certain moments where it was just, like, incredibly atmospheric, just in the timing in the background. It was very fun.
Aleste has some of my favorite sort of set piece missions where you just feel like it's epic and you're going hard, and yeah, this is one of many. And this is one of the ships as well. You know, the sort of Navy theme is throughout. They're preventing anyone from escaping Yara, while at the same time funneling in all the Viviro in and out as you shoot down a plane and engulf yourself in flames.
You know, look. Yes, that's exactly what you can look forward to, folks. When Far Cry 6 comes out on October 7th. We had some folks asking about chorizo in chat. Don't you worry, we get a lot of amigos coming up. We've got chorizo, we've got guapo, we've got chicharron. Stay tuned. They're coming your way.
You're waiting an extremely long time to not use chorizo, Chris. I mean, come on.
Well, here's the thing. I have not recruited chorizo at this point in the game, so we're gonna go and we're gonna recruit chorizo. We're gonna meet this absolute tyrant of a rooster pretty soon.
Chorizo, like, I don't think I was prepared for how much of a chip on its shoulder chorizo has. Like,
Oh, you mean
chorizo is-
chicharron?
Yeah, the
Chicharron,
rooster.
sorry, chicharron. Excuse me.
Chorizo has no chip. Chorizo
no,
you
no,
just
no.
want to hug and raise for yourself.
Chorizo's all vibes. Chicharron though is just angry. Just pissed off and just ready to cause havoc.
Oh yeah.
Chicharron is everyone at 18, I think. That's how I see Chicharron. At 18,
Pure
you
violence.
just hit a point. Yeah, pure rage. Yeah.
Folks, as we're dealing with a ton of bombardment and chaos here aboard this boat, feel free to throw a question or two into the Ubisoft chat or into the Xbox chat. We're taking a look over there. I've been seeing y'all chatting there.
Jump in.
And so,
jump in.
so let me know if you want to know something. How old is this pre-recorded footage, Samcraft? I recorded this footage last week at the end of the week. Due to some technical limitations, we had to do it this way, just based on the fact of like keeping everything secure in a pre-release environment. But also, this allows us to like give you the highlights here and there and show a diversity of areas, of weapons, and everything like that. So that's why we wanted to tune it this way for this stream for you. My ride is here. Boat
So we got a
Elia,
James
who-
Bond exit here.
Eliahu over in the Xbox chat asking, how is co-op in the game? Is it possible to play through the whole game in co-op just like Far Cry 5?
It is absolutely possible to play the entire game in co-op. Happy to report that. It's an absolute blast playing Far Cry in co-op. And yeah, and you will, you know, there's the host and then the co-op player. The host keeps the sort of campaign progression, but you keep your player progression. So all your weapons and all of that stuff as well. So it's
And that's
pretty
no joke,
ready to
'cause
go. And
the resources
yeah.
you gather, like, we'll see a little bit of
Yeah.
weapon customization in just a little bit,
Yep.
folks. But the resources you gather really go a long way towards tuning those
Oh,
weapons,
yes.
towards making them, you know, a lot more versatile and impactful. Oh god.
You need those resolver materials, and you want to get some resolver weapons going.
Gotta get the pills.
Naveed, I don't. Some people are asking as well about crossplay. Do you know if co-op crossplay is possible?
I believe it is. I'm not going to say 100% because someone might throw something at me, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Let me investigate. We'll follow up. Try and give y'all a definitive answer on that one.
This ally just happened to get injured through no fault of my own. Exactly. You know, it's dark.
It's not your fault
The sun
at
is
all.
setting. But look, I revived him. We
beautiful
get a slow-mo
explosion.
explosion of the boat. It's
In the moonlight as well. Look at this.
Yelena,
Oh yeah.
it's done.
I really like that effect, the slowdown effect, like when the mission is completed. Like it
Need me
just,
for anything else?
it's just
It's
like
the walk away
perfect
from
come
explosion
down.
so slowly effect.
You got my
Yeah,
number.
it's very satisfying.
And the moon, stars.
Yeah, see now you're pissing off Benitez at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's some open world mechanics we're gonna see a little later as well that are like you start to cause a lot of trouble. Trouble's gonna find you in addition to
Yeah.
you know, you seeking it out.
You gotta be careful, and that's one thing. You know, we talked a lot with our designers and our world director Ben Hall. We always wanted that feeling of the world pushing back. You know,
Mhm.
so it's not just like you're going about and the world doesn't exist around you. And yeah, if you start messing with it, Anton will send his special forces. Oh, Chicharron.
Oh, here we go.
Chicharron.
You are a true warrior and an artista.
Oh man.
I've never seen Chicharron
I really like this
impressed
guy.
before.
He's like
I tried to
Chicharron's.
fight with Chicharron
I don't know.
once.
Hype man.
Yeah, hype man. Yeah, that's a good one.
Even though he's lost an arm to Chicharron.
Literally, Chicharron ripped off his arm. As
Yeah.
Shout out to Jandy
Yeah.
in chat that says, "Damn, that rooster had drip."
Chicharron hates the
oh yeah,
enemy.
you're gonna
Oh,
see
yeah.
that. You can see Chicharron post show.
And he just the way he says Chicharron. Chicharron. There's like the longest period where people were just yelling that on the floor. It's like a battle cry. There it is. See? Perfect.
Oof.
Chicharron will make them regret not going paperless.
Yeah.
Fight alongside him
Not
on
going paperless.
Not going paperless, right? Right?
Chicharron, first and foremost, is an environmentalist.
Nothing will stand
Very
before Chicharron
environmentally
in his
conscious
place.
in Far Cry 6.
I really like that kind of mission briefing because you get so much character from the mission giver,
Oh yeah.
and it really like helps paint this picture of who this maniacal rooster is.
And what's different this go around is you get a lot the sort of mission briefings you get. We get a lot closer, you know, with the characters. So you get to see all the little details in their face and their clothes and their gear and all that. Oh, what are you gonna pick, Chris?
Ooh.
Well, we're still pretty early on here, so I don't have a ton of
I-
weapons unlocked. So just mixing it up.
You want to know the hardest thing with game dev is
Tell me.
you know you actually play the game as you should play it, and you can't just use cheats. So like every time I play a game once it's released, like my hand is flying all over the controller and everything's. I'm like, what is going on? Where are all my my cheats, man?
Where's the stuff?
Where's my stuff?
We had a question here. Who was just saying this about can you hide the mini map? Yeah, there's a ton of like HUD customization stuff you can do.
Tons. Yeah,
so you
absolutely.
can. Yeah, that's something that I wanted to leave it on just so y'all could see how it goes. But you tune in about a month to our live streams once this game comes out. We'll play around with the HUD. We'll see what we can do.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to
customize
take
it
off the
to-
mini map, the health bars. You could do all that.
Now getting a look
It's
at
funny 'cause I'm the exact opposite.
Oh, you
I
like
want it all on. I want everything on.
Getting a look at some of the arsenal here. You've got your Supremo backpack in the main slot, 3 primary weapons and a sidearm, and then 5 gear pieces. And there's a lot of different ways to like customize the whole operation. Plus your look, because with your cosmetic gear, or sorry, with your what you're wearing, you can do like a cosmetic customization and swap out the look and keep the stats. Which I know Yusuf, you were still.
And that's a shift. Is your progression is tied a lot to your gear, which gives you a lot more freedom in terms of your play style. That I think folks are going to appreciate.
And one of the things I noticed about the gear was that some of the stuff I was like, I was kind of expecting it to, as it does, sort of amplify certain resistances and powers. But one of the gloves was like, when you catch on fire, the fire will be put out because of these gloves. And there were some shoes that were like, you resist getting knocked over by melee attacks. And I was like, put these on. I need those.
Yeah, and whether it's weapons or gear, if you wear a certain vest that'll repel, the poison that the army throws you. Like, so you're kind of problem solving depending on the situation. Look at this. Chicharron waits for nobody.
Speaking of problem solving.
Just starting things.
That's what we wanted to get across with Chicharron, is you don't know if you're fighting with him or he's fighting with you. You don't know what he's fighting, but there's fighting.
Our mission here is to protect Chicharron. I don't feel like Chicharron needs any protection.
No, not really. I think the rest of the world needs protection from Chicharron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is this weapon, Chris?
Oh, I feel like this is just a tease because we're actually going inside. The fireworks. Wait, am I going to use the fireworks?
Oh,
I was worried about
overkill,
Chicharron.
maybe.
I don't want to kill Chicharron.
Gotta be
but
careful.
you'll see some fireworks later. Don't worry. That's like Chekhov's fireworks launcher. We'll see some in Act 3. Now,
Oh, man,
speaking
with
of
Chicharron, the moment. Oh, go ahead.
Ooh,
you mentioned the fire earlier,
Wow.
Naveed, being a favorite, and I wanted to shout it out because that's where it is.
I love that
Where's
you
all the
saved
books?
it for the document, the library, basically, to unload.
Absolutely.
So far, Craig.
Look, Chicharron hates these documents, and I'm trying to help out my little buddy here.
That's it. Chicharron knows what to do. Man,
Those
the
healing
moment we
animations
saw,
sometimes.
The
I think
healing
the turning
animations.
point with Chicharron was when he got the collar. Once he got the punk rock collar, everything sort of fell into place.
I'm digging those like neon spurs or whatever. I don't know what you call them on a rooster.
Yeah.
Those like the back like claw.
Yeah, the spurs, they're spurs, yeah.
Yeah. So folks, asking in chat, I do have some clarification on co-op. So co-op is possible between generations of the same platform. So like Xbox One to Xbox Series X and S. It is not available across systems. So Xbox and PlayStation crossplay is not there. But cross save and cross progression is live for everyone. So if you own the game on multiple platforms, you have one save. Your save carries over from one to the next.
There you go. Two notes as we continue. We will see some more looks of Chicharron because you can customize you can get your amigos in different outfits. We're going to see a little bit of those later. Also, if you want to go back and pause the stream when we were just looking at that document, you can learn a little bit more about Yelena, the leader of La Moral that we were talking about earlier, that who Navid was talking about. That was like a little dossier on her, and you can see exactly what kind of threat the army thinks she is. Now, Chicharron, in addition to having like a endless bloodlust and hatred for Castillo's soldiers, also like he's got an ego, man. He wants people to know that he's been here. So the way this is concluding,
I mean, he's the cock of the walk. He's a rooster. He's showing off.
Absolutely. So you gotta let folks know who was the one who trashed this building. I love Chicharron so much.
It's the music, right? That's what the music makes it. It's perfect.
Look at him. Look how happy he is. Always happy to help you out, Chicharron.
It's nothing like an abruptly ended screaming guitar solo.
Now we have one more Chicharron mission before we can recruit him as an amigo, and we're gonna hop into that now. Before we do that, folks, just a quick note about the footage you're seeing. It's captured from an Xbox Series X. Pre-recorded so we could show you a bunch of different segments and edit them together. So we have chunk here, chunk there, chunk there. And of course, we're streaming it at 1080p, 60 frames a second, because that's sort of our optimal, how we want to stream to you. But of course, settings will exist for higher graphical fidelity and whatnot as your home setup permits.
Show them the meaning of strength. He will humiliate them. He will destroy the statue with his power.
One of the things I want to point out briefly, Navid, that I'm a big fan of, and we talked a little bit about gear, outfitting your Danny with what you want them, what gear you want them to have and the stats that come along with it. But the thing I'm a really big fan, I'm really glad y'all have this in at launch, is being able to customize the appearance of those gear items.
Oh, yeah.
So, folks, basically the way it works is if you have a piece of gear, you like the stats of the piece of gear, but maybe you don't like the look of it necessarily, you can swap out the appearance with another gear item of the same category that you already own, which I think
it's a massive roster. It's huge.
Oh, it's a huge roster. There's so many things to choose from as you unlock them. But the thing that I think, the reason I'm so happy about this, Navid, is that Far Cry 6 has third-person cutscenes for the first time. So you're seeing your Danny a lot more than you would normally see a Far Cry protagonist.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was a big let's see if it works moment several years ago that thankfully paid off. But yeah, that was one of the reasons we wanted to do third-person cutscenes. Not only that you're sort of more invested. I love how angry at the mongoose he is, first of all.
He's not having it.
But yeah, it's one of those things where you get to be a bit more invested in Danny's story, but also you get to see, your Danny, doing their thing and interacting with the characters. So it instantly worked when we tried it out. It was fantastic. Just he doesn't hold back, does he?
No. Oh no. Oh god.
It's also like, I'm not just taking out this dude. I'm
both
taking out this whole
That's
throne.
it. That's it. Right? Because he knows what's gonna happen. He knows.
So for folks who missed it, this mission right now, we have to keep Chicharron alive while he wrecks the monument. Now, I've seen people call this a follow and protect mission. If you're watching Chicharron in action, it's not. It's like a follow and keep up.
Yeah. Come along for the ride.
It's so vicious.
Chicharron is Batman and you're Robin.
Definitely a high chaos amigo. We'll see a stealthy amigo situation with Chorizo in just a little bit. But, yeah.
And one of the games we played, the writing team was Eric Marcisac and the writers over in Montreal, was to see how many times we could get the word Chicharron in the dialogue. So if you play it, it's like chicharron is either in every sentence or every other sentence. It's just one of those nerdy little things. that we
Oh,
do.
it's so fun to say.
Oh.
Now, I want to talk about this resolver weapon. It's called El Muro, which means the wall, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yep.
Because you got this huge shield, and then basically a revolver shotgun. And then we got the missile airstrike
A
button.
sawed-off
go.
sawed-off shotgun at that. Yeah.
There we go. So when things get hot, having El Muro around is really helpful because you got that big shield. You can also melee with that shield. So good. It's so good. I like that little table there is all set up for like a nice, like it's where the champagne glasses is for the soldiers to like inaugurate this situation. And of course, what Far Cry is complete without a little grenade
Well, you
launcher
talked about
action.
the resolver weapons and even with the way you customize your weapon, different optic sights and that kind of thing. There's the philosophy in Far Cry 6 from Juan Cortez, our guerrilla spy master, of just the right tool for the right job. So if there's a job you want to get done, you'll find the right tool, right? So whether that's a resolver weapon, whether that's a Supremo, you can adapt to any situation. Super fun.
Absolutely, and here's that El Muro again. Watch how hard this thing hits is just so satisfying.
I love the idea of it having a shield too.
Yeah.
You like it even more when you're like literally catching on fire,
Right,
and
shield.
trying not to go down.
Wait, speaking of that, I'm so happy you caught on fire there, Chris. Because I think any Far Cry veteran has caught themselves on
yeah.
fire, you know, 1 or 2 or, you know, 8
Part of
dozen
the
times.
DNA.
Yeah. There's a mission fairly early on in the game where you're given the flamethrower for the first time to beat, but you're also given
Fire and
a pair of-
Fury. Fire and Fury.
a pair of gloves though that you know, it's a gear item, and their unique ability is that if you are caught on fire, you are automatically put out because of these gloves.
Oh yeah.
And it was a complete
so
game
easy.
changer.
Yeah. There's so many things like that, and that's sort of what I'm getting at, the right tool for the right job. Like you know, whether it's, you know, armor-piercing rounds, you know, vests that, you know, repel poison, fire, that kind of thing, or gloves, you know, shoes that'll help you go a little faster, that type of thing. It's one of those things that you really can. You have so much freedom to do what you want. I'm just in awe. You really like this.
It's
the
so
Murray.
good. But look at this.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hit so hard, but this is one of the enemies that really surprised me because it's, you know, they've obviously
gotta
got
aim
the
for the
elite
helmet.
look. They've got the helmet, but that dude is also throwing down deployable shields, like, and
That's
taking
it.
cover behind them. They're tenacious, but we have solutions for that, as you can see.
Oh, the Exterminador. I swear to God, once the Exterminador came online, that is all I used for a solid like 3 months. It's just
Chat is loving the
so
Exterminator.
satisfying. So satisfying.
It is so good. And then
Oh, here we go.
there he is.
Chicharrón
Just
gets what
wait.
chicharrón wants.
Oh, it's coming.
He sure does.
Where is he? There he is.
This is Chicharron being like, "You're cool. We're good."
Now we're friends.
Now you've created a
There
monument
you go.
to Chicharron.
Now we can all go home happy.
Now, I did not see this question in chat, but I know it's in the back of your mind, folks. Can you pet the Chicharron? We have answers for you here, exclusively on Ubisoft. Well, no, not exclusively. Just it's gonna happen right now. You're gonna see what happens when you try to go in for the scritches.
Chicharrón!
Back up. Back up.
It's not having it.
Mind your business, Chris.
You could not pet the
For
rooster.
Fresh Prince fans out there.
You cannot. Want to address a question in chat. Folks are asking about some PC specs and, you know, console specs. More information is going to be posting on that pretty soon. If you're curious how it's going to run on your PC, what kind of settings you can get into, we're going to have more information on that. Keep an eye on news.ubisoft.com in the lead up to the release, which is just over a month away. Far Cry 6 launching on October 7th. And you know, the soldiers here trying to make a nice monument, so they're setting themselves Not happening.
It's funny with
Not
the
happening.
the pet animations are the ones that so much love goes into and so much personality, and that goes all the way back. The team at Toronto, a lot of us worked on Primal, and that's kind of where a lot of that
Mm.
kicked off. And like people make their, I can't wait for people to make their little, the sort of YouTube comp reels of all the pet animations and things like that. You gonna pet the
Well,
horse? Yeah,
Oh,
you
you
are.
pet the
yeah.
horse?
Yeah, you are, Chris.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you are.
Listen, I
Of
want to
course
give
you are.
people what they want, Naveed. You know? You know it. You know
Absolutely.
they want it. We know they want it. So we've gotten two. We've got cheat your own pets. We've got horse pets. I think we've got 2 or 3 more coming in the stream. Assorted pets. So.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell you, like, there are so many amazing ways to get around Yara. Flying cars and all this shit. The horse is my #1 go-to. Like, it just works so well, and I don't get nauseous on it, which is amazing. If you've ever been horse riding, like, this is not actual horse riding. It's like what you think horse riding is
Yeah.
gonna be like. It's perfect.
It's what it should be.
Horse riding is a
Yeah.
lot more discomfort as you. I don't know, man. The first time I trotted on a horse, it's basically.
You have to time it, right?
You gotta time it, because otherwise you're just like butt to saddle, absolutely just getting tenderized. So I finished that situation. A dude rolled by on a horse. I said, "That's my horse now, thank you." And then just kind of like rode over the hill because I was like, maybe I'll go find something. And lo and behold, stumbled upon this military ambush site at these out on the outskirts of this like little agricultural complex. And here is where we're gonna do a little stealth, folks. You guy has some stealth chops. We're gonna see some stealth here.
Ooh, okay, Chris.
I know,
Yeah.
Yusuf. I know you like.
Pressure's
I know you want
on,
it.
Chris. Pressure's on.
We got some
you got
folks
some
wondering about. So we're scouting. We got our little binoculars here. Folks are wondering about turning off health bars and stuff like that. There's a lot of HUD customization that you can do, and I believe that is among.
And your